Hi there. What on earth do you do when you're stuck with a blank page and the words just won't come? Hi there, my name's Lisa Oliver, and if you want to know how to get past a blank page, then carry on listening. For those of you who don't know me, I write paranormal, paranormal romances, and I've been writing and self-publishing for 8 years and making a comfortable living doing so. If you want to learn more about me, then feel free to Google me, Lisa Oliver Author, or just look for me on Amazon because I'm all over the place. Now then, that blank page, it won't fill itself. But sometimes it gets to a situation where you just don't know what to write. Now, I have done a video on this before, something similar, but I was sort of inclined to want to do it again because a friend of mine, when I put up a video on last week, I think it was, on how to write a book, it was one of the things about starting a book, I had made it plain, as I've said in 2 or 3 videos, do not write as your first line, "It's a dark and stormy night." And Jen, my friend who commented on my video, said, well, what if you're stuck and you don't know what else to write? And she made a good point. If you write, "It's a dark and stormy night," then the page isn't blank anymore. And that barrier that comes from seeing a blank page is no longer there either. And as she also rightfully pointed out, it's perfectly easy for you to go back once you've got into your writing muse to be able to go back and take that sentence out and replace it with something else. So I do think that's a really awesome idea, and kudos to Jen for pointing that out to me, because I was simply trying to help readers stop from making a cliched beginning to their books. But, Jen's point was a good point. Another way I had heard about how to get past the blank page, and at the time I thought it was really silly, but believe it or not, I have done it once, and that is to repeatedly type the word "the." If you know that you've got an idea for your book and you don't know where to start, and you open up the page and you type in chapter 1 and then you can't think of everything else, then this person, I can't remember, I read it in an article or something somewhere, and I know it's not a new idea, but I'm sorry, I can't remember who to credit it to. But the point was that you just started typing. So you typed the word "the" over and over again, T-H-E, 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 and do that for about 5 minutes. Then it's like your brain kind of kicks in and thinks, oh, we're actually meant to be writing here. And then those thoughts from those wonderful ideas from your new book will hopefully start to surface, and bam, you can start writing the way you would normally. It's particularly difficult if you set yourself, if you're quite disciplined about when you write and for how long. That if you say, for example, you've decided at 12 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon that you're going to write for 2 hours, that is actually quite a bit of pressure. So you go and sit at your table and you think, I've got 2 hours. And then it's like that wipes your whole brain clean. You can't think of anything else except the ticking of the clock and the fact that you've only got 2 hours. Before then you have another commitment or something else that you can do. And that is writers putting so much pressure on themselves, which is why I really like to encourage writing sprints. Because when you're doing writing sprints, you're only writing, like, you'll start off with like 5 minutes, then you might do 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I've got videos up on my other channel which are 3 times 5 minute sprints and things like that. But you can check that out down in I've got a link to my other channel below, Lisa Writes, and where my writing sprints are. And sometimes I personally found by doing sprints, I greatly increased my word count. But if your blank page is staring you in the face and you can't think what to start with, then Jen's idea of writing it was a dark and stormy night is actually a really good one, because you could write something like, oh gosh, I've got to think now. And then my brain goes blank when I do videos. So it's like, okay, it was a dark and stormy night. Glenn glowered at his screen because the only thing dark and stormy were his thoughts, blah, blah, blah. And you could continue on like that. Or you could write something like chapter 1, it was a dark and stormy night. Seth shivered as he huddled by the fireplace, wishing he had remembered to go out and get wood earlier that day. He was freezing. He had no idea when Archibald was coming, and he hoped that the man had remembered to bring food because his stomach was eating his way through to his backbone. Okay, so I'm not the world best at coming up with a story idea just completely off the top of my head when I'm, chatting to you guys. But the point still remains that coping with a blank page is overcome by two separate things. One of them, as Jen suggested, is that you do need something on the page. And if you put something on your page, then it gives somewhere those words, whatever you've written on your page, give something for your brain to hang an idea onto, and then you can keep writing after that. The other thing that you can do with a blank page is, reason why the blank page can become problematic is because you are putting pressure on yourself to write within a certain time span. And this is where the writing sprints that I mentioned earlier come in, because if you do have an idea for your story and you're not sure how to start it, then write it was a dark and stormy night and then carry on from there. Chances are that phrase actually had nothing to do with your book at all, but if it did, then make sure to comment below that, thank you, Jen, because there are times when that might actually be feasible and when it's necessary for your story. The big thing is about confronting a blank page is that it is only blank until you put a word on it. And realistically, it doesn't matter what that word is. You just need to type. And it doesn't matter if you only get 100 words done in the 2 hours that you were allotted yourself on a Saturday afternoon, or if you get 2,000. Your book is going to get finished. Your story is going to be told. And the less pressure you put on yourself to do that, to get your story out there, the faster it will happen. Okay, I was reading my book Loki, Being Loki, came out live this past week. It was the week before. I am so proud. I am so happy with it. But that took me probably twice as long as most of my books normally do. I can normally write a book in a month to 6 weeks. This one took me well over 2 months. And why it took so long to write was because of the pressures I had going on in my outside life. I'm trying to get my house ready for sale. I was dealing with agents, I was dealing with my children. I'm trying to work out where I'm going to go when I do finally sell my house and things like that. Those are all outside issues that really detract from my trying to write. I go to write and I'm thinking, oh gosh, I'm wondering if that agent will ring me back or whatever else, And when you're getting these intrusive thoughts like that, it's really, really difficult to focus just on your story. And that's where the sprints come in, because they are a really good idea for getting you focused. And I was actually amazed at how well they worked for me in staying focused. So thank you to JP Sayle for recommending that to me. But the other thing is don't allow yourself to get overpressured. Today, write 100 words. That's your goal. Just write 100 words. Tomorrow, or your next writing session, you might write 200 words. When your story comes together, you will find yourself writing a lot faster, a lot quicker, and with a lot more assurance. But when you're faced with that blank page at the start of a new book, maybe, as my friend suggested, you should write, "It was a dark and stormy night." If you did enjoy this content, please hit the like and subscribe button. And remember, if you've got any questions at all or you want any help at all about, your own writing and self-publishing journey, then please put them down in the comments below, because I'm more than happy to help anyone I like the idea that people can do the same sort of lifestyle as I can. So, yep, hit the like and subscribe and hug the ones you love. And until our next video, stay safe, my friends. Bye.